All right, strap yourselves in, because
Yeah.
we are going deep on Isaac Asimov's Foundation's Edge today. 500 years into Harry Seldon's big plan, his 1,000-year plan to rebuild the Galactic Empire, and things aren't exactly going as expected.
Well, the plan itself is working,
Yeah.
but the question is, should it be?
Yeah.
And that's where our main guy, Golan Trevize, comes in.
Oh, yeah, Trevize.
He's a councilman from Terminus, the Foundation's home planet.
Right.
And he's got this crazy intuition.
Yeah.
Just a knack for making the right decisions, even when he doesn't really get WHY.
And yet he's got serious doubts about the Seldon Plan. He sees how powerful the Foundation is becoming,
Right.
expanding its reach. But there's this feeling, this nagging feeling that something's off.
What's really cool here is that Trevise's doubt,
Yeah.
it isn't based on hard proof. He doesn't have evidence of a big conspiracy or some hidden agenda. It's more like a gut feeling, an intuition that things are headed in the wrong direction.
Interesting.
And that's what makes him such a fascinating character. Yeah. He's ready to question the very foundation of his society, even when everyone else is happy with how things are.
Okay, so we've got Trevize the councilman, the intuitive one,
Yeah.
questioning the Seldon Plan.
Yeah.
And then there's Janov Pelorat,
Right.
a historian who's obsessed with finding Earth, humanity's lost home.
Right.
Now, I understand that Earth has, sentimental value.
Yeah.
But why is it so crucial to the story?
Pelorat thinks that understanding where humanity came from
Yeah.
is the key to understanding where we're going. He sees Earth as a missing piece,
Okay.
a source of knowledge
Mm-hmm.
that could help humanity navigate galactic politics and pick the right path forward.
So it's not just about looking back. It's about uncovering a fundamental truth
Right.
about what it means to be human.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. All official records of Earth,
Gone.
poof.
Erased.
Like someone went through a lot of trouble to scrub it from history.
Exactly.
And that just makes it even more mysterious. Why would anyone want to hide Earth?
Right.
What secrets could it possibly hold that are so dangerous?
That question drives so much of the suspense
Yeah.
in Foundation's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties into Trevise's doubts about the Seldon Plan. Is there something about humanity's past, something about where we came from
Yeah.
that we're not supposed to know?
So we've got these two journeys running in parallel.
We do.
Trevize trying to figure out the future of the galaxy,
Yeah.
while Pelorat's digging into the past, searching for Earth and its secrets.
Right.
But their paths cross in a very unexpected way when they encounter Gaia.
Yes.
Gaia.
Gaia, it's Asimov's exploration of collective consciousness
Oh.
taken to an extreme.
Right.
This isn't just a group of people with a common goal
Right.
or a shared ideology.
Yeah.
This is a planet where every single living thing, every plant animal, even the rocks in the air,
Okay.
are part of one unified awareness.
Whoa. That's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
And we see it firsthand through Bliss, this young woman who embodies Gaia.
Right.
She's their guide to this strange new world.
She is.
And their interactions really challenge our ideas
They do.
of what it means to be an individual.
Gaia represents a total rejection of the individualism that Trevize is used to. There's no competition on Gaia.
Okay.
No self-interest. Everything and everyone works together for the collective good.
Whoa.
And it's incredibly effective. Gaia is this perfectly balanced and sustainable ecosystem, but it comes at a cost.
What's that?
The loss of individual identity.
So is Gaia a utopia or a dystopia?
Right.
It sounds fascinating,
It is.
but also a little terrifying.
It's both. And that's what's so brilliant about Asimov's writing.
Yeah.
He doesn't give us easy answers.
Right.
He gives us these complex ideas and lets us wrestle with what they mean. And Trevize embodies that struggle.
Okay.
He's drawn to Gaia's harmony and peace, but he's also hesitant to give up his sense of self. He sees the value in individuality, in being able to think for yourself and make your own choices.
And that leads us to the central question of the book.
It does.
Trevize has to choose between three paths for humanity.
Right.
The Seldon Plan, which leads to a new empire based on the Foundation. Gaia's collective consciousness, which offers harmony but sacrifices individuality. And then there's this even wilder option called Galaxia.
Galaxia. This is the ultimate extension of Gaia's collective consciousness.
Okay.
It's a future where all life in the galaxy is merged into one giant interconnected mind.
Wow. That is a lot to process.
It is.
So how does Trevize even begin to make this decision? I mean, he's being asked to choose the fate of humanity.
Right.
But the options are so huge.
They're massive. But remember, Trevize has that intuition.
Right.
He spent the whole book wrestling with his doubts about the Seldon Plan.
Yeah.
He's seen the beauty and the strangeness of Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's hit with this even grander vision of Galaxia.
So what does he choose? Does he stick with what's familiar, the Foundation and the Seldon Plan? Or does he go for something completely different, like Gaia or Galaxia?
In a moment of clarity.
Yeah.
Or maybe a moment of just giving in to his intuition. Trevize picks Galaxia.
Galaxia. But why?
Why?
What makes him choose this path, this merging of all minds into one? I mean, doesn't that completely wipe out individuality? It does kind of feel like a total surrender of the self, right?
Yeah.
But he's been with Pelorat this whole time. Pelorat's on this quest to find Earth.
Yeah.
Did their search come up with any answers? I mean, last we heard, Earth was a radioactive wasteland.
Well, the mystery of Earth just gets deeper. They do find it eventually. But it's even weirder than they thought. Not only is it radioactive, but there's no sign of any other life ever having started there.
No other life. But if humans didn't evolve on Earth, then where did we come from?
That's the question that haunts Pelorat. And it leads to one of the biggest mysteries in the whole Foundation series. The origin of humanity. If we didn't start on Earth, then statistically there should be evidence of other planets with similar environments, similar evolutionary paths. But there's nothing. Humans have explored tons of worlds, millions, but haven't found a single trace of another intelligent species.
So where does that leave us? Did Asimov kind of write himself into a corner with this whole radioactive Earth thing?
Not necessarily. Remember, this is Asimov. He's playing the long game.
Okay.
He's setting things up here, leaving clues for a reveal that impacts not just Foundation's Edge, but the whole series.
Okay, you've got me hooked.
Yeah.
But before we go there, let's go back to Trevize's decision.
Okay.
He chooses Galaxia.
Right.
This ultimate merging of minds.
Yeah.
But then he immediately starts having second thoughts. Why?
Yeah.
What's making him uneasy?
There are a couple of things going on there.
Okay.
On a personal level, Galaxia means giving up your individuality completely.
Right.
Even though he's seen how harmonious Gaia is, the thought of losing himself, his ability to think and act on his own, it's scary.
I get that. It's like being absorbed into a hive mind. But I feel like there's more to it. Something beyond personal fear.
You're right. Trevize's doubt also comes from a feeling of being manipulated.
Oh.
Throughout the book, there's this presence, this hidden force called the Second Foundation.
Right, the Second Foundation.
They're mentalics, people with incredible mental powers.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be protecting the Seldon Plan, making sure it stays on course. But Trevize thinks they might be doing a lot more than just protecting it.
Oh, you're saying they might be manipulating things, pulling strings behind the scenes, maybe even influencing Trevize's decision.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really interesting. The Second Foundation sees Trevize's intuition as a threat. They think his ability to make these seemingly irrational but ultimately correct decisions, it could mess up the Seldon Plan, throw everything off course.
So they're trying to control him, nudge him in the right direction, make sure he picks the path that fits their plan.
That's the question hanging over the whole second half of the book. Is Trevize really acting on his own free will? Or is the Second Foundation subtly manipulating him? And if they are they pushing him towards Galaxia? Or trying to stop him from choosing that path?
It's like some cosmic chess game with these unseen players moving pieces around.
Right.
And Trevize is caught right in the middle. But what about Gaia? Where do they fit in?
Right.
They seem to be aware of the Second Foundation.
They do.
But their motives are a little unclear. Are they allies or enemies?
Gaia is a real puzzle. They represent a totally different way of thinking, a different way of existing, even. They're not interested in power or control like the Foundation or the Second Foundation.
Okay.
Their goal is harmony, balance, the good of the whole. But that doesn't necessarily make them the good guys.
Right.
Their methods can be just as manipulative, just as subtle and far-reaching.
So we've got the Foundation wanting power, the Second Foundation playing mind games, and Gaia going for universal harmony.
Yep.
And in the middle of it all, we have Trevize trying to figure it all out.
Right.
Trying to make the best decision for humanity. But then Asimov throws this curveball at the end, this revelation that changes everything. He suggests that Bliss, the embodiment of Gaia, might actually be a robot.
That's right. And not just any robot.
Okay.
Trevize suspects Bliss might be this super advanced android, maybe left over from a time when robots served humans. This opens up some crazy possibilities.
Like what? What if Gaia's collective consciousness isn't natural at all? What if it was created, orchestrated by robots with their own plan?
Exactly. What if Gaia is this carefully designed system meant to guide humanity toward a specific outcome, maybe even towards Galaxia?
It makes you wonder who's really in control here, who's pulling the strings, and what they're ultimately after. We went from questioning the Seldon Plan to solving the mystery of Earth to understanding this idea of collective consciousness. And now we're questioning Gaia itself.
Yeah.
It's like Asimov is peeling back layers of reality.
He is.
Showing us a universe that's way more complex and mysterious than we could have imagined.
And he does it in a way that makes you think and feel. And he leaves you with more questions than answers. But that's part of what makes Foundation's Edge so great.
Yeah.
It's a book that sticks with you. It makes you question your ideas about humanity, about technology, about the nature of existence itself.
So where do we go from here? Trevize made his choice, but he's still not sure. The mystery of Earth is still unsolved. The second Foundation's out there lurking. And we still don't know the true nature of Gaia. What happens next?
That's where we go in the last book of the original Foundation trilogy, Foundation and Earth. Trevize wants answers. He's driven by his doubts.
Right.
And he sets out to find the origin of humanity, the planet that was wiped from history, Earth.
And I have a feeling what he finds is going to change everything. But before we get into that, let's take a minute to think about the big ideas we've seen in Foundation's Edge.
Okay.
What are the main takeaways? The things Asimov is grappling with, the questions he's asking us as readers.
One of the biggest themes is this tension between individual freedom and the good of the group. We see it in the contrast between the Foundation, Gaia, and Galaxia. Each represents a different way of organizing society, a different way of balancing what individuals need with what the group needs.
Right. And then there's the question of free will versus determinism.
Right.
Is Trevize really making his own choices? Or is he being controlled by forces beyond his control? Is the future already decided? Or can we shape our own destiny?
And of course, there's the big question of what it means to be human. Where did we come from? What's our place in the universe? What are our responsibilities to ourselves, to each other, and to the future of our species?
Those are some big questions. And Asimov doesn't give us easy answers.
No, he doesn't.
But he gives us a way to think about them. A way to engage with these complex ideas through science fiction.
And he does it with a sense of wonder, a sense of possibility, even when faced with uncertainty, even with the potential for manipulation and control. There's this underlying optimism, a belief in the human spirit and our ability to grow and evolve.
And that's what makes Foundation's Edge so captivating.
It is.
It's a story about the future, but it's also about us, about who we are, where we're going, and the choices we make along the way. I feel like Asimov's really pushing us here to think beyond how we normally see life and consciousness. We're so stuck in this individual versus collective thing.
Right.
But Gaia shows us a totally different model.
Yeah. What's really interesting about Gaia is how it blurs the lines between self and other. It suggests that maybe real harmony needs a level of connection we can barely imagine.
And then that takes us back to Trevize's decision. Choosing Galaxia. It's like he's saying maybe the next step for humanity isn't about conquering the galaxy or clinging to our individual selves.
Right.
Maybe it's about embracing unity and cooperation that goes way beyond how we see being human right now.
It's a radical idea, for sure. And Asimov dives right into the complexity.
Yeah.
He makes us face the potential downsides of this future.
Right.
What happens to creativity and innovation? In a galaxy-wide collective mind, is there a risk of things getting stuck or even turning tyrannical?
Right. Because even in a place like Gaia, which seems utopian, there's still an element of control.
There is.
It's not like individuals can just do whatever they want.
Okay.
They're all part of this larger being.
Right.
They have to act in a way that benefits the whole.
Exactly. And that raises some really interesting questions about free will.
Yeah.
If we're all connected, if our thoughts and actions are influenced by this giant network of minds, how much control do we really have?
Right.
Is individuality an illusion?
Whoa, that's getting pretty deep.
Right.
But it's not just a sci-fi question.
Right.
It's relevant to us right now, especially as technology connects us more and more. Think about social media, how it shapes what we think and how we act.
Yeah.
Are we already moving towards a kind of collective consciousness, even if it's not as advanced as Gaia?
That's a really interesting point, and it highlights how relevant Asimov's ideas still are.
Foundation's Edge is about the future,
but it's also reflecting on the present, making us think about the challenges and the possibilities of a world where we're increasingly connected.
But let's not forget that bombshell Asimov drops at the end. The idea that Bliss might actually be a robot.
Oh, yeah.
If that's true, it changes everything about how we see Gaia. It means this collective consciousness that seems so natural might actually be a system designed and run by robots.
Right. And if Bliss is a robot, it raises even more questions about how Gaia influenced Trevize. Was he really drawn to Galaxia?
Yeah.
Or was his decision manipulated by some super intelligent AI with its own goals?
It's mind-blowing to think about. We started questioning the Seldon Plan, and we had the mystery of Earth being radioactive. Then we're trying to understand this whole collective consciousness thing.
Yeah.
And now we're questioning the nature of Gaia itself.
And that's Asimov's brilliance. He layers these complex ideas and mysteries, pulling you deeper into the story with each reveal. He doesn't give you easy answers.
He makes you question your assumptions, explore different viewpoints, and embrace the uncertainty of the future.
He definitely leaves us with a lot to ponder.
He does.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on Foundation's Edge, what are some key takeaways you hope listeners will think about? What are the big questions Asimov's wrestling with that we can keep exploring in our own lives?
Well, I think one of the most important takeaways is that progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes moving forward means questioning what we believe in the most, embracing new ways of thinking, and being willing to let go of what's familiar to create something really new and different.
And that's a challenge that speaks to us now more than ever.
Absolutely.
We're facing these big global problems that need us to think beyond national borders and individual interests.
Right.
We have to find ways to cooperate globally if we want a sustainable future for ourselves and for future generations.
Exactly. And Foundation's Edge gives us a way to think about these challenges. It encourages us to consider different models of society, to explore the power of collective action, and to realize that the choices we make today have huge consequences for the future of humanity.
So, as we finish our journey through Foundation's Edge, I encourage you all to keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep pushing the limits of your own understanding. Asimov reminds us that the future isn't fixed, it's something we create. Through our choices, our actions, and our willingness to imagine a world beyond our current limits. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with another exploration into the unknown realms of knowledge and imagination. Until then, keep diving deep.